Can I? All right. I need to. You need to tell me how fucking stupid this name is. All right.
Okay.
So this guy is a superhero. His name is Matter Eater Lad.
Just in case he wasn't British enough, they have to add lad at the end.
So his powers are he can eat anything in existence.
He would make a lot of money as a competitive eater.
And just to visualize it for our listeners, there's a picture of a guy who looks like he's blowing a fence. He's got his eyes closed, his mouth open, and it like resting on the tip of a fence. I'm not even kidding.
Just the tip.
I'm not kidding. Just the tip.
Wow, that's his only power. He can eat a lot of stuff.
Correct.
I know a lot of people that can eat a lot of stuff.
They should actually feature Matter Eater Lad and have the guy who can like scarf down hot dogs, that he's won like every hot dog eating contest ever.
Joey Chestnut? Yeah.
Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut, yep.
That's a ridiculous name.
Wicked smart, wicked cool, wicked fucking stupid, whatever the fuck. Something wicked.
I'm baking like a toasted teaser. It's so hot here.
My boy's wicked smart.
Cause the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot, hot, hot!
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
So when I was looking at my notes, I realized I referred to the Infinity Stones as gems, stones, jewels, infinity minerals.
Where the fuck did minerals come from? Where did you see that?
Listen, the only question you need to know is if the Infinity Stones are sedimentary or metamorphic. That's all you need to know. And that's just a little geology joke for all those super into geology that listen to.
We really nailed that 0 people that listen to that show that are geologists.
Oh man, that niche is just there now. Yeah, it's funny that I remembered that sedimentary and metamorphic. I don't know if you knew what that was.
No, I don't know what that is. Geology is not a hobby of mine.
Neither for me, but I don't know. I thought I remembered it. I guess not. The joke fell as flat as I thought it would. And in any case, welcome everybody to another episode of Wicked Hot. Kevin and John.
Are you really amazed that the geology joke flopped?
I am, honestly. I feel like someone may laugh out there. It'll
Maybe.
probably be me when I listen to it again. But yeah, guys, welcome again. Another episode of Wicked Hot. Kevin and John. This is our sadly last episode of Marvel Movie Month.
Bummer.
Yeah, it does suck. It does suck, but we had a great time, and we're gonna really close it up with a lot of cool topics.
This is like a variety show.
It's a variety pack show. The last in our little special event of Wicked Hot Marvel Month. So normally this is the part of the show where I say, "Hey Kevin, what was the picture on the Instagram and who guessed it?" But we forgot to put the picture, so nobody guessed it.
You know what's funny is me and you talked about posting the picture on Tuesday. I was like, "Hey, tomorrow I got to post the picture about the next."
You know
podcast.
what it was, but we didn't know what to post. That's what it was.
That's true. There's so much shit in this episode that it wouldn't have made sense.
We should have posted a picture of sedimentary or metamorphic rocks. I think that would have gotten it.
That would have nailed it. Somebody would have guessed that.
Definitely. We could have just taken the iPhone wallpaper that's just like a bunch of pebbles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, like I said before, this is a huge variety pack episode. We got a lot of cool things. We're going to go over our rankings of our favorite top 6 again. Got to keep the Infinity Stone theme. Our top 6 MCU movies, as well as our favorite MCU trilogy, favorite non-hero. We talk about the Infinity Stones a little bit. It's a big show to kind of get you ready for this week's release of Marvel's The Avengers, the Infinity Wars, part 1. But yeah, so let's just get right into it.
I am Iron Man.
We could do this all day.
I am Thor, son of Odin.
And Hulk. Smash.
Dormammu, I come to bargain.
The Black Panther has been a protector of Wakanda for generations. The mantle passed from warrior to warrior.
Whoa, you're the Avengers!
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by.
Storm.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
It's gonna be sad when I don't hear that mid-intro topic anymore for our special for Marvel Movie Month. It's gonna be really, really sad.
Yeah, and I've gotten used to it. It's
It's like part of us now.
yeah, it sums up the entire series in a 30-second clip.
Exactly. And speaking of which, if you stick around till after the credits, we also have a little Marvel nod there too. So don't leave when you start hearing me give the little outro credits. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to be starting off with our top six movies. So Kevin, I'm just going to start us off at number 6.
We should preface this by saying that we both agreed on this list, and it was pretty equal. We didn't have a debate over really anything.
Well, we had a debate on like the last one.
True.
On the last 2, I guess.
True, but it was also...
It was more of like, how about this one? And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, again, this is our opinions, guys. So at number 6, we have, at least we put down as Spider-Man Homecoming as our number 6 best Marvel movie ever. I needed to have Spider-Man represented. I think Marvel turned a shitty character that went through like one franchise that I personally like and like the destruction of the second franchise. Homecoming has to be on there because Spider-Man is the best.
How do you rank Spider-Man Homecoming to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1?
I like Spider-Man Homecoming more.
Really? I was not expecting that.
So the problem is that I really think it's just the origin story that like has been killed for me. So there's not one part of me that wants to ever see a Spider-Man origin ever again.
That's why I liked Homecoming. Didn't bullshit with any of that stuff. Was like right into it. Like you're already expected to know Aunt May, Uncle Ben died.
Speaking of which, this is why I love Homecoming the most, is because somebody finally made Aunt May Marissa Tomei, which is exactly what I wanted in my life.
I don't know, man. That first Aunt May.
Dude, fuck out of here with old Aunt May. Fuck out of here.
No, I'll take Marissa Tomei over.
And I also love that everyone wants to bang his aunt. That's like the funniest thing.
Yeah, it's hilarious when Tony Stark's just like bullshitting at him and just trying to get with her. It's pretty funny, and he knows it great. Too.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So number 5, we have Black Panther, and this was one of the ones that we kind of disagreed on, but also I agreed pretty quickly that this is definitely top 5 Marvel movies.
Yeah, and the reason I had to put it on here is because when I wanted to see it, I wouldn't say it had like no hopes for it, but I just thought it was going to be another one of those overhyped movies like Wonder Woman. And I was going to be like, if I hadn't known that it was this overhyped, I would have enjoyed it. But now I feel like I've expected too much out of it. And this movie didn't leave me disappointed at all. I loved T'Challa. I loved Killmonger. Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan were fucking amazing in it. Everyone else was awesome too. The girl, I don't remember her name, but the girl from Walking Dead was great in it too. Everyone was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the few movies where I didn't love it leaving the theater, but I thought back on it and I was like, damn, I really did like that movie. It's kind of usually the other way around.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Michael B. Jordan, I said it on the previous episode, he's one of my favorite villains in the MCU so far.
Yeah, which I know some people may say is not saying much, but he's like been one of the villains that I'm just like, like he's like he's not wrong though. Like
Right. Yeah, and it's like he's one of the few villains in the MCU that's not trying to take over the universe or trying to take over the world. Like he's just doing what he believes is right.
right.
And all the other ones are just dickheads like Loki and Thanos. Like, you know, he's the only one that can be relatable.
He's like, listen, man, I just want equal rights for everyone. And then he gets killed. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so our next one after that, we have Captain America Civil War. I'll spoil it right now. We don't have any other Avengers movies. And this isn't even technically an Avengers movie, but I know you think it's an Avengers movie. Civil War, we get the first Spider-Man. We get the first Black Panther, which were the two that preceded this one. I love this movie.
It was, up until that point, it was my favorite Marvel movie. I like how they brought all the characters together, because that was really the only time we see them not like fighting somebody, you know, like like a normal Avengers movie where they're just kind of interacting. I like how they did it. And not only was it like a good action movie, it was a very well structured and written movie. It was very cohesive.
Right. It's like transcending like the superhero genre.
Right.
Because it's not like there's superheroes in it, but I think it transcends as a story even more than just like a run-of-the-mill summer blockbuster action movie.
Right. I definitely would have liked to have seen the comic book version come to life, because there's so many more people involved in that Civil War.
I know. And unfortunately, that's never going to happen. That's why if when Fox ever sells to Marvel, we could still have like a maybe X-Men, Avengers versus X-Men, which would be sweet.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be into that though.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, so number 3, I know there's going to be some debate of 2 and 3.
But I'm sure no one's going to be surprised by this.
Yeah, number 3 we have Guardians 1.
Yes.
First Guardians. Oh man, I don't know where to start with this, because you can't talk about our number 3 without talking about the number 2.
Right. We might as well just reveal 3 and 2. So number 2, we have at Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, found out it is : Volume 2.
Really? Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy : at least because I saw like on the little mixtape, it's Awesome Mix :
Okay.
Volume 2. I'm assuming. So yes, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as number 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1 as number 3. I know some people like some
people hate Volume 2, and some people think that Volume 1 is way better. I personally, I know you're the same way.
Yeah.
Love Volume 2. I don't see how you could like Volume 1 or 1 over Volume 2. I think it's a great movie, and that's saying something, because Guardians 1 is a great movie.
Guardians 1 is a great movie, and it's more hard for me because I feel like they're so like both like two cohesive stories, and they both have the same charm to them.
Yes,
it was hard, but yeah, two if solely because of everything in Guardians 1 was perfect. Well, not perfect, but everything in Guardians 1 was fantastic. And then Guardians 2 came around, and it was like, we already have the rapport with these people. It's still fucking hilarious, because the whole beginning scene with them fighting that monster, it still shows that they're very naive. They still don't work together. And despite like saving the world, they're still kind of like the scumbaggy people they are. Like Rocket always thinks he's right. Star-Lord always thinks he's right. Drax is just an idiot and just does shit. And then like, Gamora is just kind of like there actually doing the job.
Right.
I
think when I watch Guardians,
I forgot I am Groot.
When I watch Guardians 1, I think like they cannot improve on Drax anymore. Like he's reached the peak. Guardians 2, Drax was so much funnier. Like it blew me away.
The whole thing where he's like, Anulax batteries. He's like, arbulary batteries. He's like, that's not what I said at all. And then when he's talking about the Anti-Lax batteries again, he goes, "They're arbulary batteries." He's like, "No, they're not."
I love Drax in the second one, and we've talked about it before. Yondu in the second one, as opposed to the first one, amazing. Totally redeemed himself from the second one. I love a redemption story, and Yondu just killed it.
Yondu killed it, and like Guardians 2 made you like legit sad.
It made you feel something, whereas Guardians 1 was just like, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's all fun and games. Yeah. So, I guess we could both reveal number one. So at number one,
this was an easy choice.
It was one of the easiest choices ever, and that's Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. Yeah, Thor: Ragnarok. It's hard for me to like nitpick anything in this movie. If anything, I say maybe a little too much CGI, and Hela could have had way more screen time.
Yes, that's literally the only gripes that I have was the CGI. I thought it was lacking a little bit.
Yes,
even though I
enjoyed it so much, though I like didn't give a fuck. I could literally
like I was looking at the CGI guys, and I was like, dude, that's rough. But then,
well, not the Hulk.
No, not the Hulk, but the Rock guy that the director played.
Oh yeah,
I thought his CGI was really bad. Yeah, but he made it so much better by being hilarious.
Exactly.
That I didn't even really think twice about it.
Yeah. I will say that like Marvel almost overcame their bad villain representation, because I'll throw the Grandmaster as probably like the half main antagonist,
right,
in the movie. Because he's like half the movie, and he was just as colorful as the heroes. I mean, he and his like little group and posse were just unbelievable.
Yeah,
and then
I love him in that movie, and I can't stand Jeff Goldblum.
I know you can,
but I know we talked about him before I had seen Ragnarok, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah,
him in this movie, I see what you're saying. Like, he is perfectly cast in this movie, and he does it flawlessly.
Oh, 100%. I mean, all his lines were great, and like the way he delivered them were just like if Jeff Goldblum ever got sucked into like a space-time continuum, he's the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Like, he would start this whole thing, and like that's just Jeff Goldblum. I could see Jeff Goldblum as like a human that just became like this alien leader, and he's just this weird fucking kooky guy. So yeah, and then obviously Thor, Valkyrie. Valkyrie's character is awesome. I love Valkyrie's character, how she was like always shit-faced.
Yeah.
The minute she's introduced, she just falls right off the ramp, but then just shows that she's still badass.
Yeah, and Loki in this movie, sometimes when I see Loki, he's kind of like a whatever. I'm like, oh god, they're throwing Loki in another movie.
Yeah.
This one, I really liked Loki's character. Again, I'm a sucker for redemption, and he pretty much saved everybody at the end.
Yes, he did. Also, little shout out to Matt Damon as Loki as well.
Yeah, that was such a perfect cameo. I love that cameo.
Also, and Sam Neill as being Odin.
Yes.
I was like, I don't hate that. Like, if they ever needed a younger version of Odin, if we ever got like a Thor spinoff about like young Odin, Sam Neill. I mean, he's not like, young, but
well, they make Odin look like he's 100 years old in the movie.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins looks fucking old as shit in that movie. But yeah, so final thoughts: Thor Ragnarok, Guardians 2, Guardians 1, Civil War, Black Panther, Homecoming. Our movies ranked. Thor Ragnarok just is our top one. It has all the charm of Guardians, but still connecting it to the Avengers.
It's definitely hard to even like compare Thor Ragnarok with another movie, because it's like everyone else, and then Thor Ragnarok is just so much better. I hope this guy directs every Thor from now on.
Hey, seriously, yeah, that'd be freaking sweet. So obviously, from our top 6 MCU movies, we also wanted to go over our favorite MCU trilogy. Now, there's not a lot of movies in the Marvel Universe that are on their 3rd installment, but enough are, and I'll even count like the 2s in there as well. Just like favorite, I guess we probably should best character series rather than MCU trilogy. But
Okay.
yeah, but we have
We have Captain. So here's where we kind of differ a little bit. So I have Captain America, that franchise, and then I'm also allowing the Avengers 2 plus Captain America to be like a wild card, because that could be an Avengers movie.
Whoa! I like how you're like, I'm allowing. I'm like, whoa!
I will
what's
allow
going on
this.
here?
So we also have Iron Man, and I think that's
Thor.
it. Thor.
And Thor.
Yes, Thor.
Are the only 3 installments.
Right. So Captain America, Avengers, Iron Man, and Thor. So 4.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I say Captain America because I've enjoyed basically all the Captain America movies. I don't think anyone has been like kind of dull. I like First Avenger. I loved Winter Soldier, and obviously we just talked about it. We loved Civil War. So it's really hard to go after any of the Captain America colons.
This one was tough for me because I wanted to pick Thor so bad because I really like Thor 1, and Thor Ragnarok is amazing. So Thor the Dark World is so bad that it really like brings it down. Like it's so bad. So I would have to say Captain America.
I want to talk about Thor 1 for a second, since you said Thor 1 is your favorite, or not favorite, but you liked it a lot.
I liked it, yeah.
You couldn't get over Kat Dennings.
I hate Kat
I'm surprised. That's why I'm like legitimately surprised that you say that, because she's very heavily featured in 1 and 2.
That could be why 2 is like 2 is a bad movie.
No, 1 is I think she's featured more in 1, by the way.
No, definitely 1, but 2 is a bad movie, and then you have Kat Dennings on top of it. It's a trash pile. But Thor 1 being so good, I can deal with Kat Dennings and her annoying personality.
How long ago did you watch Thor 1?
Maybe a month.
Was it
little
okay? So a
more.
month ago. Does it still hold up? I've been deciding whether or not to like revisit.
It does. The only one going back that far that doesn't really hold up is the Hulk, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I could see that.
Even Iron Man 1 holds up pretty well.
Does it?
Yeah. Like there's a couple scenes where you're like, I don't know about that.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're in agreement with that. So I guess we'll go ahead and just finish off with our rankings with our top 3 worst movies. Now, Kevin and I did not agree on these, and I don't think there was any changing our minds. They were just like, we'll just do our own separate things, because I feel with worst movies, I thought it was going to be a clear cut and dry, which is what mine is. He threw a fucking curveball at me, and I cannot.
I love when we were going over this, and I said the movie, and you're like, "Whoa, no, we're doing our own."
Exactly.
And it was just like decided that we were not combining our picks in this one.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, we have to have different ones, because I'm going to explain these 3 to you, and when I'm done explaining, you still need to tell me if you truly, in your heart of hearts, think that the movie you picked as part of your top 3 worst belongs in that list.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go, I guess, descending to ascending, right? Yeah.
Yes.
3-1. Okay.
Okay.
So my number 3, as it happens, is a 3rd installment. And I'm talking about Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3.
I'm just thinking about this. Like, damn, that is a bad movie.
It's not like the worst, but the fact that they took the world's most confusing character, the Mandarin, and added another
more
layer
confusing
of confusion.
They probably read the Wikipedia for the Mandarin. We're like, how can we make this more confusing? Oh, let's make him this other guy.
Let's make him Aldrich Killian, who has absolutely no correlation to the Mandarin whatsoever, except they both fight Iron Man. So yeah, Iron Man 3 just sucked for me. I like Shane Black, which really sucks because Shane Black does pretty hilarious movies. I mean, more recently you would know him. He did The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. So I don't know your thoughts on that movie. I personally really love it. So it kind of is a bummer that Shane Black kind of shit the bed with this one. I think he took it too comedy wise, and that's why the whole Ben Kingsley Mandarin thing just fell flat for me. But that's my number 3 worst. So my next movie ends up being a number 2. And I threw in Iron Man 2. Let's face it.
What?
It's not a good look for the rest of the Iron Man movies. Iron Man is basically good at 1, and I think that's when they realized they're like, we should just probably have him in Avengers and other movies than make Iron Man his own movie. Because Iron Man 3 is bad. Iron Man 2 is way worse.
Wow. That's a
You don't agree
bold
with that?
statement. No, I think 3 is way worse than 2.
What the fuck? No. 2 is terrible. 2 is so bad. 2 has there's no point to it. It's just like, let's introduce War Machine and Iron Patriot.
Exactly.
This is the same. Iron Man has a very like villain like identity issue because this is the same guy who's like Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo. Was that what his name is?
Yeah.
So the villain doesn't know who he is. The Mandarin, who is the villain, doesn't know who he is. I'm surprised Obadiah Stane knew he was Ironmonger, honestly.
I mean, I disagree. I think the third one's way worse. It's trying to be a mindfuck without any reason or story behind it, other than this guy got left out to watch fireworks, and now he's this master fucking villain that hates everybody. No, I don't believe it.
Well, he goes from nerd to being like jacked and having like douchebag hair and wearing like linen pants.
That's how it always happens.
Okay, well, fine. I mean, I still think Iron Man 2 is way worse because I just no parts of the movie do I enjoy. But
that Monaco scene though,
yeah, the Monaco scene is good. The Monaco scene is good.
That really makes up for how bad the movie is.
Maybe I disagree, but the Monaco scene is awesome. Okay, so at my number 1 of top 3 worst Marvel movies, I'm doing Thor: The Dark World. Just because it's one of the most forgettable movies with the most bored, forgettable villain that we all forgot why he was bad / why he was mad in the first place. Oh, and the ether. Whatever the fuck that was.
God.
I hate hearing the word ether because of this movie.
That was the least well explained Infinity Stone, and there's an Infinity Stone that we know nothing about. I'll just put that out there. This is the worst explained Infinity Stone. The ether.
Yes.
Worst.
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World is just terrible.
Again, like I said before, it's a trash pile with Kat Dennings on top.
Are you telling me that you still think Iron Man 3 is worse than Thor: The Dark World?
No, I don't think that Iron Man 3 is... Iron Man 3 didn't even make my top 3 worst movies.
That's crazy. Okay. Oh, I'm like more nervous to hear this list now. Honestly, I'm like legitimately terrified.
This first one, I know you're going to have a problem with. I know it. I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with it. It's Doctor Strange.
Oh my God.
It was so boring. I never fall asleep during movies. And when I watched this, I was freshly rested. And I watched this movie, and an hour in, I'm like falling asleep.
How?
I pause the movie, wake up a little bit, go back. And it was even worse than before. It was just so fucking boring.
How is it boring? There was so much stuff in it.
I honestly can't explain it. I was just like bored out of my mind watching the movie. And like how he gets his cloak or his cape,
Yeah.
it just floats out and now it's his. Come on.
I mean,
Although I
but-
did really, really like the ending. How he gets in that time loop.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
That was a really good ending. It doesn't make up for such a shitty movie, but it was good.
So it was good, or
The
it
ending was good. The movie
Oh,
was
okay.
trash.
Okay.
So my second worst movie is I'm really shocked that you didn't mention this. It's The Incredible Hulk.
So the reason I didn't mention Incredible Hulk is because I've never actually. I told you I've only seen like one scene,
Okay.
and more recently, one of the Stanley cameos in it. If you remember that one, yeah, that's the only thing I know about Incredible Hulk. Oh, and Edward Norton's weird fake facial hair.
Yes. Well, let me fill you in on why this is so bad.
Okay,
So we talked about this a while ago in a different podcast, but
Liv Tyler.
no, this is predates that. Edward Norton tried to force his script on the studio, and they shot basically both movies and tried to edit them together.
Right.
The movie is a continuity mess. It doesn't make sense half the time. It doesn't explain any of his backstory at all, so you have no idea how this Hulk came to be. Like, your only thing to go on is the Ang Lee Hulk, if you remember how that happened.
Wait, is Ang Lee Hulk still considered canon?
No. It's not part of the MCU.
Okay.
But that's what you would have to go by in like backstory wise, because it doesn't explain anything in Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
So I watched it recently about 2 months ago, and the CG does not hold up at all. It's awful. The villain is bad. They never say his fucking name. And the scientist guy is totally cool with AIDS blood dripping into his fucking cut on his forehead. And then they never explain him again. They never go back to him, see what he's up to. They never go back to him.
That does sound like a mess. I definitely would have had that in my top.
It's an awful movie. And Edward Norton is really, really bad in it. Like, his acting is really bad.
That's surprising because it's Ed Norton.
And Liv Tyler's in it. So I'll just end it with
Say
that.
that.
I'll just end it with that. So my number one worst movie is, and you've already talked about it, it's Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
It's trash.
I thought you were going to throw another thing that I was going to be like, holy shit, no.
No, it's trash. I don't ever want to see that movie again. And
Wait, did you see it recently during your binge?
Yes, I did.
It's
I
still
had to
terrible?
watch all the Marvel movies in order, and Thor: The Dark World was one of them. I saw that in theaters. I don't remember it being that bad. And then watching it back, it was just really painful.
Like, what specifically was painful?
His hair, for starters, way too long. He looked like a girl.
That was your biggest complaint.
That's my biggest complaint, his hair.
There was an extra inch. I don't like it.
There, the characters in the movie that had really good roles in the first one, like the professor and Kat Dennings a little bit, and even what's her nut, Natalie Portman. They all had really good, strong characters in the first one, and the second one ruined every character, and it had a weak ass villain.
Yeah. The characters, I feel like the characters after or into, they became cartoon characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Natalie Portman.
Yeah, she turned into like a damsel in distress in the second one.
She did, because I remember in the second one, she like couldn't stop talking about Thor. She's like, "Oh my god, when is he coming back? And I can't wait to see him." Like, I remember those parts where she's just like talking to Kat Dennings, like, "Oh, I can't wait till Thor's back in Midgard. I can't wait I'm sure that's not how it went at all, but
I
that
love
was
how
the
they
gist.
explain it in Thor Ragnarok. I think it's Thor Ragnarok. Somebody asked like where she is, and he's just like, "Oh, we broke up," or some. It's one of the more recent movies.
because they were probably like these secondary characters suck.
Yeah,
They fucking suck. No one gives a fuck about them.
yeah,
I'm glad they're not in 3. I'll just leave it at that.
yeah. Me too.
Okay, so from our ranking stuff, we're just going to go ahead and get into some of our favorite things within the MCU that I guess we haven't really covered in previous episodes. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and go with our favorite non-heroes. So these are basically guys that aren't like part of the main cast or aren't like superheroes, just kind of like the regular average Joes that are on the same, I guess, playing field as Kat Dennings' character.
Fucking A.
I'm just kidding. They're better than that. How surprised would you be if I said, I know Kat Dennings' character's name is Darcy Lewis.
God.
So, but no, she's not my favorite non-hero. My favorite non-hero is actually Happy Hogan.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay.
From Iron Man, yeah. So Happy, he's just that guy that is basically the exact opposite of what his name suggests. He's Tony Stark's chauffeur / bodyguard, I guess, and he's always kind of there to be a voice of reason and just to kind of deal with Tony the entire time. He's basically a funny, miserable Alfred, but you just laugh at him, but at the same time you're like, I love when he's around because he's just so ridiculous. But besides being kind of a lump, Happy has pretty heroic moments too. Like when he gives the suitcase armor to Stark in Iron Man 2. And
That is some damn good driving.
Yes. And he also crashes the car into Whiplash in Iron Man 2 as well during that same scene. But what made Happy my favorite started with the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, where we see his interactions with Peter Parker during the Civil War storyline. It was some of my favorite stuff. And he just like all his interactions with Peter Parker, even throughout the movie, where he's just like annoyed of Peter and he's always trying to tell Tony something and gets embarrassed, and it's just kind of like I can't stand this kid. It was great.
Yeah,
and obviously
him in Homecoming was so fucking good. The way that he's like completely dodging Peter's calls, it's hilarious. He's just like pissed off every time Peter contacts him.
Oh yeah, totally. And obviously it goes without saying, I love Happy because he's Jon Favreau. Basically started the MCU we all know and love because of Iron Man, and also Jon Favreau. He's great. I don't know. I obviously Swingers comes to mind every time I see Jon Favreau because I love that movie. It's so funny.
I love Jon Favreau, especially like you said. Like after you see Spider-Man: Homecoming, you have like a greater appreciation for like Jon Favreau's character. It's perfect. Kind of ties it back together.
It does. It's nice to have him still around and not dead because of Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I know.
I thought they legit were going to kill him off. I'm like, you got to be fucking... If there's one thing...
This motherfucker is the best part of this franchise. So mine is Lewis. I don't even know his last name. Lewis from Ant-Man.
Oh,
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena?
Yeah, his character, he's like a sidekick to Ant-Man without actually doing anything or being like have powers or anything. He's hilarious. The way he tells stories in the movie, it's so fucking ridiculous. I laughed during his parts more than I laughed at the entire rest of the movie.
Like the Paul Rudd stuff.
Yeah, like his stuff was so spot on, and like when he says like I'm just gonna go in there and punch him in the face, when he's playing the security guard, and they're like no, don't do that, and he ends up doing that anyways. It like saves the fucking day. Yeah, I love him in this movie.
I'm looking forward to another story of his in Ant-Man and the Wasp. They have to do it again.
I really hope that he, in some way or another, has like a bigger role in the whole thing because I love his character.
Dude, you know what would be fucking hilarious? Because you know Ant-Man and the Wasp occurs after Infinity War?
Yes.
it'd be great if he kind of like at the beginning of the movie gave like a recap of the Infinity War, and he's like voicing, you know how like voices the characters with this.
Yeah, that
Just
would
like,
be
hey,
great.
I'm Iron Man. Hey, I'm Iron Man. Or like, I got America, not Thanos, and I'm like fighting. I don't know why I'm making him sound like Cheech and Chong.
That is kind of
Although
how he
he-
sounded.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, man. He is like the sidekick you kind of want around.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's
just fucking hilarious.
He's a good comic relief, and he can also, how he proved in the security guard scene, like he can also throw down.
Yeah. Well, he's like from Oakland too. So.
It's true. He knows how to fight, and it's not because he's like a trained fighter. He just grew up on the streets.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I love that pick. That's a good solid pick. So we covered best movies. We also want to go over what we think's the best ability. Or like best character that has the best ability, I guess. So I'll just say that Thanos has the best set of abilities. And if he's anything like how his powers are written in the comic, the Avengers are fucked, man. They're so fucked. These are his powers. Oh. And this is without the gauntlet or any gems.
Oh shit.
This is just him. So he has bionic amplifications. So think of like how Nebula is. It's like he's like
Okay.
more half machine, half eternal. He can use mysticism, aka magic, like everyone. And he has the power of the entity death. So superhuman strength, obviously. He can absorb cosmic energy, and he's capable of telekinesis, telepathy, and matter manipulation.
Oh shit.
Oh, and by the way, he's also a badass hand-to-hand fighter.
Of
Because
course he is.
if nothing else works, he could always throw down. But of all these powers, only one really stands out to me as the best. Super genius. Mind over muscle. Mind over muscle.
Damn.
Yeah, he's able to build his floating chair, which is capable of
That's his big like accomplishment. He built a floating chair.
he makes a floating rock chair, okay? But his floating chair capable of space flight, force field projection, teleportation, time travel, and can go through alternate universes. So fuck out of here with just a chair. It's a floating rock chair that can do a bunch of cool shit.
All
and
right.
I basically want the ability to make cool shit like that. So I'm going with super genius Thanos. That's my pick.
I'm going with somebody who is way better than Thanos. And it's the number one pick. It's Thor.
Yeah, I thought of Thor too.
Yeah, he has superhuman strength, like literally the strength of the Hulk. He has magical weather control. And so he can
That's a good
basically
point.
strike you with lightning at a moment's notice.
Really? Because I have force field projection on my chair, dude.
Well, let me get through these fucking things first. Because I got shit that can combat that.
Okay.
So, I didn't finish this. He's got magical weather control even without atmosphere. So he could do the shit in space.
Shit.
He's got interstellar flight, immortality, a magical hammer, obviously,
No.
space portals, and a blast strong enough to destroy a planet.
So he's the Death Star.
He is basically the Death Star, but he's good, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So he has other magical powers, including he can make energy barriers. So fuck you with your energy barriers. Thor can do just as much.
Listen, I could travel through time and teleport.
But he's got magical powers and space
So
portals.
does my guy. So
Your guy
The
has a
space
chair.
portals.
My guy has a hammer.
listen. My guy also has a gauntlet.
Hammer beats chair any day of the week.
Fist beats hammer.
No, that is not true.
Yeah, what beats hammer? Paper.
Molten lava?
Oh, true. Yeah, a furnace, like a forge,
A really hot
forge.
furnace could beat a hammer.
A really.
So basically, the Human Torch can beat Thor, and that's it.
Okay, so what's your main pick out of Thor though?
My
'Cause
main
I picked Super Genius out of Thanos.
Super Genius is nice and all. I mean, Thor doesn't really have like one amazing ability. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be flight. It's just all of them together make a badass superhero.
That's true. That's true.
So you could be super smart and I'll be flying.
Listen, I could be. First of all, I have a floating chair that's capable of space flight. Okay, so if I wanted to fly, I just sit down and just fucking fly. But look, I'm very practical when it came to picking my superpower. I'm like, which could I actually use? And it's Super Genius. So that's how that goes.
I just think of traffic, how fucking far I have to drive to work, and I'm like, damn, if I could fly, I'd be here so fast. And that's that's the logic that I used.
If I was a super genius, I would have found a way around the traffic.
Fuck you.
I would have found a Waze that's better than Waze. All right, cool. So that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the worst abilities. So my worst ability goes to Howard the Duck. And I'm going to remind everyone before everyone's like, what? That's fucking bullshit. He's still canon. He's still canon within the MCU.
Yeah.
He's featured in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but we never really got to see his powers. It's stated that even though Howard the Duck doesn't have superhuman powers, he is still skilled in what is called, and bear with me on this,
Oh god.
quack fu. Like kung
Quack
fu,
fu.
but with quack in it.
Oh, I get it. It's just really
Yeah.
stupid.
Yes. So having martial arts as a power can be awesome. Sam Wilson, as well as other non-human superheroes or non-superhuman heroes, they know martial arts and they're legit. But when you call it quack fu,
It loses all of its credibility.
no one's taking you seriously. There's nothing. I don't know what else to really say to that. First off, that's Howard the Duck's only thing, and that he drinks a lot. It's quack fu. That's about it. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than it's quack fu.
So his ability is that he knows quack fu,
That's correct. Yes.
and also that he's a talking, walking duck.
Yeah. I guess it's a power in itself,
That could be a power, which is also a really bad power.
but it's more impressive than quack fu.
Yeah, if you showed me a duck that knew quack fu, I don't even know. I've never seen it before. And a duck that could talk and drink alcohol, I'd be more impressed by the duck that could talk.
Agreed. Agreed completely.
So my worst one is along the lines of yours. And this guy, I actually didn't remember this until you reminded me that this guy is in a movie. And his name is Batroc the Leaper. Maybe one of the worst names ever. And he was played by George St. Pierre in Winter Soldier.
GSP.
Yeah, so his abilities, there's not many. So his ability is that he's an Olympic level weightlifter. That's it. You know what's weird is I know like 400 people that also have that ability. So this guy's a super villain whose only
Did he
power...
at least win gold?
No. It didn't say.
Did he win
it didn't say in his backstory.
Okay. So why is he called the Leaper if all he could do is lift weights?
So it actually goes on to say that specifically his leg muscles are particularly well developed, enabling him to leap great distances equal to an Olympic athlete, which is like double Olympic athlete. So he's also
Speaking of mock draft, he would fucking kill.
yeah. It's crazy because when have you ever seen a Olympic weightlifter that could also do long jump?
That's true. Look at those laterals, man. He's up there.
So if anything, he's like a double Olympian. That's something.
That's a superpower. That's a superpower.
That's a superpower. A lot of people have it, but
It's very unuseful when you're fighting Captain America, which George St. Pierre learned.
yes.
Yeah, that's a really shitty ability. That's a really shitty villain. God.
Yeah. That's why I didn't even know he was a villain. I just thought he was some guy that was fighting him.
Did you know it was GSP?
I do remember it being GSP.
And you were like, who's this guy?
Yeah, of course I didn't say his name, so I didn't know it was Batroc the Leaper.
Exactly.
Although I could understand why they didn't say that name. It just sounds so stupid.
Imagine Captain America like jumps down. It's like GSP, and he's like, "Hello, Captain America," and he's like, "Batroc the Leaper, we made can."
I'd probably bust up laughing in the theater.
That would be quite humorous.
And then everyone in the theater is going to be like, "Excuse me, what did he say? What's his name?" And they're going to have to say it a couple times.
It's like, Batroc the Leaper, he got away. He leapt away.
Exactly, so people know that it's not like just his last name. He's a very good leaper, jumper.
Yes, he leaps. Okay, so now let's move on to our Infinity Stone segment. So this is a good way for you to kind of catch up with what you need to know for this Friday if you're going to see Infinity War this Friday. But it's funny because Kevin left me all the Infinity Stones that if I chose one as my favorite that I'd personally use, it'd make me look like a psychopathic maniac, which I'm fine with. I'll take that burden. But the first stone I'm covering is the Power Stone.
Power.
And it works basically how you'd imagine it to. Grants the user ability to manipulate energy and enhance their own physical strength. And if it's used in conjunction with the other 5 stones, it enhances the power of all others and grants you omnipotence. Or is it omnipotence?
Omnipotence.
Is it not omnipotence?
No, it's not. Definitely not.
It's not. Okay. When used in conjunction with the other 5 stones, it enhances the power of all others and grants you omnipotence. So basically become like an all-powerful being. AKA omnipotence, just saying. And in the movie, the Power Stone has the ability to destroy everything it touches. So I guess it kind of lies within how it's portrayed within the comic. But yeah, overall Power Stone, nothing much to it. It gives you power. It helps you destroy shit. It helps you become strong. It's kind of like the stamina power potion or whatever.
Yeah, like from Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's the green potion.
It's the green potion.
So my first one is the Space Stone.
Ooh.
And this one is what we know as the Tesseract in the MCU. So this...
All right, I should have said the purple Power Stone is in Guardians 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot to say that.
The one that's in the ball that they're fighting over the entire time.
Yes, correct.
So the Space Stone, this is crazy. So it allows the user to exist in any location, move any object anywhere throughout reality.
So like if you're like, I'm going to move John's mic closer to him or something,
Yeah.
You could do that.
I could do it. Or if it's a legit move and it's like, I'm going to move across town. Or that would suck because like your friends are always like, hey man, can you help me move this weekend? They're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You got to move all their shit out of their house with your stone, move it into their new house. That could come
But
in
I
handy. You could probably charge a lot for being a mover.
Yeah, you could. And does it work as if like I touch something and it transports with me?
It didn't really explain how it works. I would assume that you would have to like touch it and then it could go. But
We'll get into the logistics later.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I'll read more about the logistics of the Space Stone.
Of the moving Space Stone company.
Yeah. So it also allows the user to warp or rearrange space, teleport themselves and others any place the user can imagine. Increases their speed.
wait,
Oh, by the way, increases their speed. So you can run faster too.
Oh, and if that all wasn't enough, there's a bonus. The speed is included. And if you order now,
Yep. And like you said, it with when it's paired with all the other stones, it grants what did you say?
omnipotence,
Omnipotence. Yes.
omnipotence.
Yes.
And that seems to be a recurring thing where if you put them all together, they all seem to work. I think Thanos had the right idea.
Yeah.
According to the wiki, he read the wiki and he's like, if I get all of these, they're all gonna be pretty powerful. Wait, so in the movie, does it still do the same thing? Because I thought the Tesseract they just made weapons out of it.
They haven't really explained how
power.
it works in the movies, but it's in the Tesseract. We see it in Thor, Captain America, Ragnarok, and it's kind of, I guess, not known, but it's assumed that Loki has the Tesseract now.
Yeah, I would think it is assumed. Yes.
Right. And they don't explain, like in the comics, there's the Cosmic Cube, but the Space Stone is something different. So
yeah,
it's not like the Tesseract is also the Space Cube, because the Space Stone is inside the Tesseract.
right. Cool. So it's funny. My next one happens to be the only stone that, like you said, that remains a mystery to us that's in the MCU, and that's the Soul Stone. But, and this is just like Thanos, if it's anything like how it's written in the comics, it can be a huge game changer. So it actually allows the user to steal, control, manipulate, and alter all living and dead souls. Its full potential is end game for everyone who is against the holder, because it grants the holder control over all life in the universe.
Holy shit.
Yeah. This is basically like the Mary Sue of Infinity Gems. And one that I personally love to have control of if I was a psychopathic maniac who want to control the universe like my version of The Sims. But I'm not, so this isn't my favorite. But this fucking stone is ridiculously powerful.
It doesn't even sound like you need all the other stones.
It really
it's like,
doesn't.
oh, where's the Soul Stone? Yep, that's it.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed, this one, when it's together with all five, or all the five other ones, it does not increase your omnipotence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, omnipotence is not mentioned. I'm just gonna call it omnipotence.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like the Rey from Star Wars version of a soul gem.
Every time you say Soul Gem, it reminds me of Skyrim.
Oh,
where I'm just shooting people with my enchanted bow, stealing them souls.
That's true. I forgot about the soul gems. Mine were always empty.
Yeah, that's what you got to fill them with, the enchanted bow.
I know, but I always forgot.
You didn't charge that shit up?
Well, I would charge the the soul steal, but then I would like hit one blow, and then it's always like your last blow that it has to kill them to get the soul and the soul, and I would always miss every time. I don't know what it was. But yeah,
pressure.
So the soul gem, like I said, it's like Rey from Star Wars. Like, just how is this so powerful? There's no explanation. The Mary Sue of Infinity Gems.
Right. So my next one, this one, I mean, if you have one of these stones, like, it's a game changer. So, like, this
seriously.
one is crazy, too. It's the Mind Stone. And this is the one that we know that's in Vision's forehead. Also in Loki's scepter. So it's actually kind of funny. In the movies, Thanos gives the scepter to Loki. So he had to have known that the stone was in there, right?
Oh, he had to have, yeah. I mean, that's why he was sending Ronan in Guardians 1 to get the other stones.
But he gave Loki one. If he had, well, he didn't have. Did he have the gauntlet by then? No, he probably wouldn't have given it away if he had a gauntlet.
I think he had a gauntlet. He was probably like, just borrow this.
Borrow this.
It's like giving him like your car for the weekend. Here, take the keys.
Yeah.
Take it for a spin. Let me know how it goes. Thanos is way too trusting to
I know.
his minions.
Yeah, if he's
just
trying
like, take an infinity. You have an infinity. Next thing
like
you know, he's like,
Oprah.
"Fuck, my gauntlet's empty." Yeah,
And now he's pissed. He's trying to get him back. He's
Yeah.
trying to collect his owning his property.
yeah. Seriously, he's let too many people borrow his shit.
That just leads me to believe that everyone else is a dick, and he's just being like the neighbor who's like, "Hey, you think I could have my lawnmower back?"
Yeah, he was just trying to bring a little good to the galaxy, and he's just like, "All right, guys, you got to give it back." And no one wants to give it back, so he's like, "All right, I guess I have to go get my hands dirty."
Maybe
That's
Thanos
the-
isn't that bad of a guy.
Yeah, fuck the Avengers.
So this one, I guess I'll get back to explaining what it does.
Yeah,
The
so
Mind
that was a
Stone,
tangent.
the Mind Stone enhances mental abilities. And
So you're saying super genius?
yeah, so this would be the perfect one for you. So it enhances the mental abilities and allows you to access people's thoughts and dreams.
So kind of like a telepathic Freddy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn. I hope none of the Avengers make sure he doesn't get that because Thanos is going to be coming while you're sleeping.
And this one's actually a little different. If you pair the Mind Stone with the Power Stone, you can access all minds in existence simultaneously.
Damn. That's a lot of information to take in, though.
Yeah, I would assume you just gain control and then make them do whatever you want. Like, you don't hear what they're thinking. You're not like God or something.
We're like hive mind now.
Yeah,
Like they all just kind of like do what you're thinking.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a pretty good one. The Mind. Well, I think we saw that kind of in the movie too, because in Age of Ultron, remember, Scarlet Witch uses the scepter to kind of like take over his Tony Stark's like mind or whatever.
Yeah,
Right? Doesn't she do that?
she does, yeah. And the Mind Stone, it's actually funny because the Mind Stone is what activates Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's powers in the movies.
Oh, really?
Because they have the scepter there
Oh,
where
right.
they are, and it activates their abilities.
Interesting. So they're like, I guess when we talked about it last week about high evolutionary, they were experimented on.
Yep.
And are now enhanced.
Yep, exactly.
That's pretty cool. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and get into my favorite one. So, my favorite Infinity Stone is the Reality Stone. You may know it as the Snooze Fest Ether that Malekith wanted.
Boo! The fuck out of here.
That Malekith wanted / created. I don't even know what that movie, honestly. Everyone either forgot or they don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But yeah, my pick is the Reality Stone. So the comic version is basically a genie in a bottle. It allows the user to fulfill their wishes, even if the wish contradicts with scientific laws. And it can basically do things that are normally impossible. So it could also help you create an alternate universe, a la Back to the Future 2, Biff, like alternate reality. So, and of course, if it's used alongside other gems, it actually allows you to alter reality on a universal scale. I like the Reality Stone way better in the comics. The movie version is probably the farthest thing from what I just explained. So, the Reality Stone in the movie is actually formed by Malekith, and it becomes the ether. And its sole purpose is to destroy the universe and bring it back to a pre-Big Bang state, which is fucking stupid.
That is stupid.
And when it's bonded to a host, it can turn anything into dark matter. Now, what is dark matter? I would love to explain that, Kevin. And that's what I was trying to do, because I wanted to explain what this was, and after just so much searching and trying to muster an explanation, I just gave up. I was like, we need a physicist to explain that, because the actual definition of what dark matter is quite confusing. So basically what the movie makes it out to be is, the gist is, the reality stone can suck out life forces of anything mortal. And that's basically it. So with that being said, all that awful explanation is that despite all that, it's probably the most coveted stone for me. I can get everything I wish, plus I could kind of dabble in alternate realities, or maybe I could be like a celestial and finally be able to fulfill life's one true purpose, to grow and spread, covering all that exists until everything is me.
Damn, that's some that's some narcissistic stuff right there.
That's what Ego says in Guardians too, by the way. I don't know if you
I
noticed.
knew that sounded familiar. Yeah, and you were doing like a Kurt Russell thing.
Was I doing a Kurt Russell?
Yeah, I think inadvertently. Yeah, you were.
It's better than my Midwestern Owen Wilson.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, everything's me. Hi, hand me that Infinity Stone. I don't know what that was.
So that's all fine and dandy, but my favorite Infinity Stone is actually from one of my least favorite movies, The Time Stone.
Isn't that funny how it works?
It is funny. So this allows the user to see the past, present, I guess, and future. Stop, slow down, speed up, or reverse the flow of time. Time travel. Change the past and the future. Age and de-age beings.
Oh, that's a good one.
And trap people or entire universes in unending loops of time.
Damn.
Also
be awful.
paired with all the other stones grants omnipotence. So we see this in Doctor Strange.
I love omnipotence. Omnipotence must live on.
And it's inside of his medallion. And he uses it exactly how they describe. Traps an unending loop. And that's like the ultimate thing for me, because like I would become a fucking bank robber if I had this. Like, just stop time, walk in, grab the money, walk out, start time again.
Exactly.
Like, you could live a pretty sweet life with all of this shit, because you have like the immortality, because you can de-age yourself. You could change the past, change the future. It's like you can do anything. You can do anything with this stone that you could do with any other stone.
Well, not true, because I could do all that with less effort. I just wish it. I want that money. I'm going to wish for it. I want to change. If I want to change time, I'm going to wish for that too.
Here's the thing. You're not thinking logically, because you're thinking like, oh, I'll wish for that money. But when the IRS comes knocking, they're going to be like, where the fuck did you get this money? And you're going to have to
wish them away.
They'll come back. They'll send a letter.
The IRS always wins no matter what. They're like, Infinity Stones, please try harder. We got Al Capone. All right, awesome, man. Well, we got our Infinity Stones out of the way, and we'll go ahead and just jump right into Stan Lee cameos and start wrapping this Marvel month up. So Stan Lee cameos. We picked our favorites, or our favorite, and for me, this was kind of tough because there's a lot of really good ones, and there's a lot of like ones that are like, they're good, but like they're all kind of like the same.
Yeah.
My favorite Stan Lee cameo is in Avengers Age of Ultron. And it's when Thor is explaining the drink that wasn't made for mortal men, and Stan Lee responds with, "Neither was Omaha Beach Blondie. Stop trying to scare us." And then he gets plastered and drunkenly says, "Excelsior," was one of my favorite ones.
That is a great Stan Lee moment. It's like a classic because he's got his catchphrase in there. I do like that one. That's like probably the best lines that he has.
Yeah, agreed. Totally.
So my favorite Stan Lee cameo is in my favorite Marvel movie. It's Thor Ragnarok.
Oh shit, I forgot about the Thor Ragnarok one.
So yeah, this leads to like a pivotal point in the movie because it's when Thor gets his hair cut off. Finally,
the too long hair.
Yes, the 1 inch too long hair. So Stan Lee plays this Edward Scissorhands motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
who's like a master barber, but also a terrible barber at the same time.
A master barber. He's totally a master barber. Are you kidding me?
Well, look at Thor's head. It's all fucked up afterwards.
I suppose. Maybe he was giving him like a tape and then like, you know how like you go to like the ghetto barbershops and you get like your head designed?
Oh, yeah. He gets like the lines in there, but they're all wonky and shit.
They're all wonky, yeah.
All right. I'll give you that. So he basically is responsible for cutting Thor's hair. And that's where we get Thor's comic book catchphrase, by Odin's beard, you will not cut my hair. And what do you know? His hair gets cut. Great scene. I love the fact that we don't have to deal with long Thor hair anymore.
Yeah, minus the long. I'm pretty happy with no Thor hair anymore as well. Definitely nice. And I do. Doesn't he tell him like stay still? Like he's
He's
like
says,
laughing. He's like cackling. Too.
Yeah, he says like I'm not as young as I used to be or something, and he's like shaking as he's bringing this death contraption closer to his head.
I know, it's great. I love Stan Lee, man. I hope he can last for a couple more movies to be featured in.
Apparently, they've already shot a lot of his endings or his cameos.
Like for future movies, they're just like random scenes.
I did hear that they had a bunch of cameos like already filmed for him.
Man, that's like kind of scary.
It's like your last will and testament. Like, you know, it's the end when you're filming your cameos in advance.
You're just like CG me into everything. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore.
So, John, I have a question for you. A kind of ridiculous question because we probably know it's not going to happen, but in honor of Infinity War, I want to know what character you would pick to be in Infinity War that we know is probably not going to show up in Infinity War. And so I have multiple choice for you. You have to pick the one that you want to see in the movie.
Okay.
So number 1, Blade. Number 2, Deadpool.
Ooh.
Or number 3, Wolverine.
That I want to see.
That you would want to see in Infinity War, even as a cameo.
I want to say Deadpool, but I'm going to go with Blade.
That is 100% my pick, too.
The only reason I say Blade is because I just want them to be like, there's no, like, Thanos somehow has a vampire on his team for no reason, and that gets put on Blade's radar. And
nobody has heard of Blade, and he's just like, I hear there's a new vampire in town. Maybe I'll go check this shit out.
Materializes, and he's just like, where's that? I can't even say this like with serious. He's like, where's that vampire at? And we're like, oh, who are you? And he's like, I'm Blade. I'm a vampire that hunts vampires. And then we're like, oh, I'm so glad that there's one of these guys to help us out. And then Blade just kind of like deals with that guy and it's just like, all right, cool guys, I'll see you later. And then it sets it up. I'd even be good with a Blade end credit scene.
That's what I'm thinking. I am 100% in on this Blade thing because, first of all, I want another Blade movie.
Wait, do you want with Wesley?
No, I'm thinking they could reboot it with somebody else. Michael B. Jordan, maybe. Just throwing that out there.
I wouldn't be mad at it, honestly.
If they could set up a Marvel MCU Blade franchise, fuck, dude, I am into that.
Yeah, I'd be into that as well. Yeah, we need Blade. I mean, it's Black Panther made like brought the black superhero to like the top.
Yeah.
I think we need someone to join him, and that man has to be Blade.
America is ready for
A new Blade movie.
A third black Avenger.
Yeah. I don't think
we're
Blade is
ready
an
for it.
Avenger, but I can
could be.
definitely see he could definitely be an Avenger.
But he's only called when they're fighting some type of vampire thing.
Vampire or like netherworldly creature. Like
Yeah.
werewolf, Frankenstein.
And everybody's like,
anything from like
I have no idea what this is. Call Blade. Blade comes in, he's like, oh, it's a vampire. And they're like,
Yeah.
Blade, can you take care of it? And Blade's like, yeah, I'll take care of it. And then the Avengers just like assemble with Blade as like the leader.
because he's the only one who knows how to deal with vampires.
Right, so he's got to lead the team.
Exactly.
I'm into that.
I'm into it as well. Let's do it. I'm good with it. All right, guys. Well, it is time for us to go. I will say that it was an absolute blast doing Wicked Hot Marvel Month. We're super excited for the movie. Kevin's got his tickets to go see the movie this weekend. I got my tickets to see the movie this weekend. So we'll be watching Infinity War. We hope you guys are too. And if you want to find out what we think, maybe we'll have a little, I don't know, maybe we'll have a little bonus episode of us just kind of briefly talking about our thoughts on the movie. And if you want to know if we're actually going to be doing that, you should give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. And that's at Wicked Hot Talk. And we, as always, we'll drop a bunch of news, bunch of different things of what's going on with the podcast, all that good stuff on our Twitter and Instagram. And of course, if you can please leave us a 5-star review, or even 5 stars on iTunes, helps us out, gets us on the top charts, gets us preaching out to the world with all of our stupid thoughts. But hey, the 5 stars always helps us out. And again, guys, make sure you get your t-shirts before the movie comes out. I think you can still probably order and have it shipped to your house within a reasonable time. And if you're not watching the movie this weekend, that's fine too, because then you could have it for the next weekend. You can have it for Ant-Man and the Wasp. But yeah, pick up your Marvel rating shirt with the Infinity Stones. I know we're peddling the shirts like madmen right now, but
Like it's a pyramid scheme. It's not.
Yeah.
They're good shirts.
they are good shirts. I have mine on right now, actually. I fucking love it. So thanks again, guys, for listening. And we will see you with a normal Wicked Hot episode the week prior, and perhaps maybe a little secret bonus episode for our review of Avengers Infinity War.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, guys. So we're going to cover our favorite end credit scene. We figured we throw it at the end of the credits. I don't know if you remember or if you even stuck around, but for those that did, we'll send you a little treat. I don't know.
Here you go, dipshit. Here's end credit scenes.
So we're actually going to go over our favorite end credit scene real quick before leaving you guys we're holding on to the Marvel stuff as long as we can. So ironically, one of the end credit scenes that got me the most excited took place in my shittiest movie, Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, God.
I'm not talking about when Thor and Jane kiss each other, by the way.
Okay, good.
So it's actually when Sif and Volstagg, which are Thor's buddies, bring the ether, aka Reality Stone, to Tanalia Tavan, the Collector. This is actually the first time we get a glimpse of the cosmic MCU, and as well as one of the bigger baddies of Marvel in general. I know they don't really paint him that way within the MCU, but trust me, he's a baddie.
I didn't even know he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Until
Also-
a couple weeks ago.
Right. And Benicio del Toro fucking kills it as the Collector.
Oh, yeah, he's
And
great.
And the costume is basically the exact same way he looks in the comic. But we just get a nice setup of where Sif and Volstagg say they can't have 2 Infinity Stones next to each other and poorly trust the Collector to keep the stones safe. The Collector says 1 down, 5 to go. which really helps build up the Infinity Stone lore. That obviously gets more payoff in Guardians 1. And with Infinity War coming out, we're going to get the same payoff there. And it's also pretty sweet because if you think about it, in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Collector almost had possession of 2 Infinity Stones when the Guardians were selling him the Power Stone.
Yeah.
So he clearly was like, hey, thanks for letting me have the Red Stone. Like, now I'm just like keeping this now. This is now mine.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know. How could they trust a guy that they're not sure is a villain or a good guy? That's why I couldn't comprehend that he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because they just so willingly gave him the stone.
Right.
Even in Guardians.
I think it's more of just like they think he just wants it to have. And I think I don't know, because I'm also confused as to how his motives are. I don't know if he just wants it to have it or if he just wants it to have it so he can use them.
Okay. So at that point, we still don't know if he's just collecting them or if he's wanting to use them. Okay.
Right, exactly. And it's funny enough that my end credit scene kind of has a little bit of an Easter egg that ends up being in your favorite end credit scene.
Yeah. So mine is Adam Warlock in Guardians 2.
Yeah.
And I picked this because I didn't know anything about this character and I wanted to learn more. This was an excuse for me to do some research. So as we know in Guardians 2, they basically piss off everybody in the universe. Aisha, the gold-plated leader of the Sovereign, most of all.
Yes.
And at the end credit scene, we get this this payoff where we see this thing. We don't know what it's like, a cocoon. And she says, I think I'll call him Adam. At that point, I had no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
I'm sure the comic book experts knew, but that is Adam Warlock. And it's weird because like in the comics are like what I read about him, he's a good guy. So they're making him seem, and he's actually a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy a little later on.
Yes.
She makes him seem like he's a bad guy and he's going to fuck up the Guardians.
Yeah.
So James Gunn actually confirmed that he will be for sure in Guardians 3.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to at least get some payoff there.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Also, I like the Sovereign are actually really good villains because they're like Marvel hero funny.
Yeah.
But they're villains. They're like actually bad.
Yeah. They are hilarious.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned, they first hint at this in Thor: The Dark World when they're in the Collector's collection area. His cocoon is there in one of the things, like just in passing.
Right.
And you would have had to have really known about this character to know what that was.
Yes, yes.
So we get a little confirmation in Guardians 2 that it's Adam Warlock and we're going to see him. They say he's not going to be in Infinity War, but you honestly never know. Like, they're not going to confirm anything or deny anything.
There may be like an end credit scene with Adam Warlock or something, maybe. I don't know. I guess maybe not, but yeah, he'll definitely be in 3, so that'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's going to be in Infinity War because the comic book story, he actually ends up with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, that might be a cool storyline. Maybe we'll see that in Avengers 4.
Maybe we will. And we will definitely be seeing you guys next week. So thanks again for sticking around for the end credit scene portion of this episode. And enjoy Infinity War, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.